All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Tom, take the roll, please.
Mayor King.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
Councilmember Helly.
Present.
Postma.
Present.
Baker.
In attendance.
Baskin.
Present.
Fisher.
Present.
Pashusta.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Looking for a motion, item number 1, with the adoption of the agenda, the removing item number 12.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a motion approving the minutes from June 5th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, nothing under recognitions and awards. Item number 4 is a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing, item number 5, reviewing tax abatement application from Bigelow and Lennon Construction for 1307 18th Street Northeast. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor. Members, Bigelow Linen has a proposal of the tax abatement. Estimated value of the home is $355,000, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It conforms to all our adopted policy requirements. Estimated abatement is $7,812. This is a public hearing.
Since nobody is here, unless the Baskin children want to weigh in on this, I guess we're going to just go right to council. Any looking for resolutions?
No strong thoughts.
No strong opinion. Looking for a resolution for 5A approval or denial of the abatement.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
You bet.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 6, also reviewing abatement application from Bigelow Lennon Construction for 1803 12th Ave Northeast. Craig?
Yes, similar to the first one, this one's estimated value is at $314,000, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, estimated abatement of $6,575, conforms with our policy, and this is a public hearing.
All right. Looking for resolution for A, approval or denial.
Move to approve. Second.
Thank you. Tom?
Councilmember Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
You bet.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you. Under petitions and requests, item number 7 is a motion authorizing the addition of 2 police patrol officers effective immediately, and including the positions in the 2024 budget. Keek?
Only to follow up what we spoke about at the work session. This is something I absolutely support. I think the time is right. It's really been 2 years of having a lot of pressure. The things in the last month again just help illustrate, to me at least, how important this is, and how much I appreciate your support flowing out of the work session and looking at this as a need for our department and a need for Austin.
Right on. Thanks, Chief. So looking for, unless there's any questions, looking for a motion for item number 7.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution approving the contract with SEH Inc. for the amount of $5,500 for a law enforcement center needs assessment with funding coming from 2023 contingency. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor. Members, we're exploring the possibility of an extension of our local option sales tax and using those proceeds to construct a law enforcement facility. At this present time, Malheur County is interested in a continued co-location with the Malheur County Sheriff's Office and Dispatch and APD being in the same facility. This needs assessment would ultimately determine the cost of the facility and what capacity we'd have for that for the local option sales tax. SEH has a proposal for that needs assessment so we can get our hands around the costs. Those total costs of $16,500. Our share of that would be $5,500, and we're looking for council approval.
Any questions for Mr. Clark, Council? If not, looking for resolution for item 8.
Second.
Okay, Tom?
Councilmember Helly.
Aye.
Postma.
Aye.
Baker.
You bet.
Baskin.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
The resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 9 is approving a contract with Independent School District number 492 for police liaison officers. Chief McKeegan.
These are the same terms of this contract that we've had for a number of years. We have it in the schools, at least in the 26 years I've been here. I think it's a great partnership. I really do think it's a 1 + 1 = 3. We're very mindful of the role that we have in the schools, that we are invited into things. But I think, again, the level of communication, what we're integrated to do, really provides a lot of value to the school in what they're paying for from us. They get the trained officers. We actually utilize that liaison today to get some information into the schools that we wanted to. And so, again, with them compensating us for those two positions, I would recommend approval of this contract.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions for Chief McKeegan, council? If not, looking for a resolution for item number 9.
So moved. Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You bet.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 10 is a resolution approving an updated agreement with the Minnesota Department of Revenue for the collection of local option sales tax. Thomas?
City of Austin has an agreement with the State of Minnesota Department of Revenue for collection and administration of our local option sales tax that happened when we started the sales tax. They've actually gone through a process to review all their sales tax collections and costs and are going on, have decided to change to a flat method whereby our costs actually go down from about 1.55% of our lost revenue to about 1.35% of the lost revenue. With that being said, the state is asking and they're going through this with every agency that they do the collections for, which is 99% of them, are going through this process with all of them to have updated sales tax agreements for them to administer, and we'd recommend approval.
Council, any questions?
Tom, so financial impact, negligible to positive for us?
Yes, so our fee will be, point, not huge, but 0.2% times $1.7 million a year adds up, so.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Looking for resolution for item number 10.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You bet.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 11 is accepting these two donations into the city of Austin. $2,505 gift from Spruce Up Austin to the Honor Guards Park Planters, and $2,500 from the Hormel Foundation, Hormel Foods Corporation Charitable Trust to the Bike Club. So we appreciate that amount of money from both of those agencies and looking for a resolution to accept them.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You bet.
Baskin,
Abstain?
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0 with one abstaining, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. With the, I guess we're going to bypass item number 12 into 13, reviewing a variance request from Meyer Properties and Holdings LLC. Holly?
Mayor and council members, the petitioner Mitch Meyer brought a matter on behalf of his business, the Muffler Center, at our June 13th meeting. The request was for a variance from our city code for a 20-foot setback on the rear yard. He intends to add a 40 by 65 addition to his existing building. The setback requirement was due to the residential, there being residential district, a residentially zoned district to the north. The Planning Commission reviewed the matter. Two neighbors did appear at the meeting. Neither objected to the project. There were some questions about the property lines, which would be addressed with a survey being required for the building permit. After reviewing the matter, the Planning Commission with 6 members present recommended approving unanimously with 6 votes. The Planning Commission made the following findings regarding the request: that the requested variance is in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the zoning ordinance, that the variance, if granted, would not alter the essential character of the locality in which the property is situated, that there are circumstances unique to the property not created by the landowner, and that the landowner intends to use the land in a reasonable manner not permitted by the ordinance. And again, that is a recommendation from the Planning Commission for approval. If you have any questions.
Just a comment, Holly, I think this is outstanding that when you talk about the silver tsunami that's coming with business owners, you know, the Sorensen brothers owned that for 40 years. And I was nervous when they were going to retire, and then you had two young folks, Mitchell and Marshall Meyer, come in and buy it and now expand the business. Is pretty incredible. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah, he talks very passionately about the work that he does and actually even the style of the building and the historical aspects to it.
Yep, that's great news. All right, council, I need a motion for the approval or denial of the variance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 14 is a resolution approving a contract with Employee Strategies for an employee survey. Craig?
Thank you, Mayor, members. As we're concluding our contract bargaining negotiations with units, we want to move forward on an employee survey. We've solicited 5 proposals, and after review, selected Employee Strategies to move forward with, or at least suggest that you consider that. They would do a pulse survey of all staff, 2 focus groups, one-on-one interviews. There would be a report to employees and council. There would also be a 3-year blueprint for implementation. This does not include phase 2 or a survey followed up on the back end of this or any implementation provisions. Cost of those are estimated at $26,000. This would come out of contingency, and otherwise be happy to answer any questions.
Council?
For those who were on the committee that talked about the various ones, I'm just curious what made this one stick out compared to some of the other ones?
Yeah, I think, and you guys feel free to speak as well. So I think we looked at, 5 total proposals. I think this one, and there was another company that were probably the 2 by far leaders. And so I think a couple of things that differentiated this. So both of the finalists, at least in my mind, good basis in kind of science and overall employee engagement. It wasn't just a, hey, what do you think? But there's a lot of research around the types of questions you ask and how those correlate back to engagement. Experience with government, which I think is important because obviously we operate in a different environment than the private sector. And then, I mean, based on kind of even my own personal experience in different sectors of running these, they seem to have their arms around it the best. In addition to that, what we liked about this one is they've done a lot of Minnesota work. I think there was one that was based out of California, so we had some level of concern as to kind of how connected they would be. And even after we had our conversations, I talked with a couple of folks from like Duluth and some other cities where they have utilized them in the past. Very, very happy with the results and kind of their engagement. So all the costs were kind of in the same ballpark, so it was this one and another one, and this one seemed to stand out for the value and the benefit that they give us.
So is the strategy over 2 or 3 years to do this at the same time every year? See what moves, what gets better and worse? Is that the, okay.
All right, looking for resolution for item number 14.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Good idea.
Baskin,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin. Aye. Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 15 is a resolution approving a lease with Austin, Minnesota Junior Hockey LLC. Dave?
It's a 3-year contract with the Bruins. The terms are the same as they were last year, with the exception of a 3% increase scheduled over the next 3 years. The only provision that they requested added to the contract was if ownership were to sell the organization, the contract would transfer to the new owners.
Thank you. Council, any questions on 15?
Dave, if that were to happen, is there something that holds the new owner liable that they couldn't move the team while they were still under contract?
I'm not sure. I don't really
Well, the new owner would be obligated under the terms of this lease, and the lease is for a period of time. And so I would have to look at the lease and see if there were clauses that allowed people to get out of it, but that same clause would exist for the current owners as to any future owners. I didn't look at it with that in mind yet, but the same rules would apply.
Dave, so the rent for 2023-24 is $7,004. Is that, so that's up 3% from the current one? Any of the other rates change?
No,
Okay, cool.
Dave, building on that, do we know, how does the rent increase compare to like our cost increases for cooling the ice and operating the arena and labor and everything like that?
I mean, the ice, we have to cool the ice whether there are Austin Bruins in there or not. It would just be operational costs that, you know, us, the staffing that we would do for events and games.
And is that going up similar to 3% or 10% or 1%? Do we know kind of compare, like, are we covering our cost or are we opening up a bigger fiscal hole?
I mean, 3% just kind of representing a natural cost increase to things. There's no data to say how much employee costs have cost from one year to the next necessarily. 3% was just kind of a number that we agreed on in negotiating back and forth, that they felt like their franchise could afford to stay in town. So.
Jason, I would say that based on the utility costs alone, it'll be higher than 3%. So whether you want to attribute that all to the Bruins or the high school hockey or figure skating, the cost will be exceeding 3% of that 3% revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Just so that you know, it won't cover it.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, the Bruins are obviously a value to the community. I get that they're not operating on the same level as like an NHL franchise type of thing. I think as we are about to move into the budget discussion, it'd be good for us to have kind of a connection to like what is our operating cost and making sure that we're trying to make sure that our revenues are moving so like that. But
Okay. If there are no other questions, looking for a resolution for item number 15. So moved.
Second.
Second. Tom?
Councilmember Helly,
Aye.
Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You bet.
Baskin,
aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Bashusta.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you, Tom. Looks to be our citizens are leaving, so we don't have any citizens addressing the council. Honorary council member comments. This can't be the last meeting.
I know,
Can it,
I'm really
Denver?
sad.
It is, and I do not have 1,135 words this week. So, yeah, it is my last meeting. I know that people stream this afterwards, but if anybody's interested in this, it's an experience that I highly encourage anybody who's looking at a political career, just trying to figure out how our city works in a more detailed way. I would highly recommend it, and if anybody wants to talk to me about my experience, I'm happy to do that as well. But thank you for allowing me this and getting to work with this group of leaders. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for your application. You've definitely been value add, so we appreciate it. Thank you, Denver. Honorary council reports and recommendations. Craig?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Council will go with Joyce.
I just want to say that it's been an honor sitting next to the honorary. He's, you know, he's a very wise guy. And I mean that in a good way. Well, yeah.
No Sopranos theme in the background.
But, you know, just his experiences, life experiences, and everything he's brought up to us have been very eye-opening. So I have really appreciated that. And I also just want to say that, you know, unfortunately, Austin has had a very rough week. But I am very grateful for APD, including dispatch, and how they handled everything so swiftly. You know, stopped everything from escalating out of control. And I'm just really glad to have you on our side, and kudos to all of you.
Well, it's been a good partnership. Fire definitely helps us out. Mayo Ambulance helps us out.
Yes, everyone, yes. Sheriff, yep, state.
Really have worked great these last couple weeks. So.
Everyone's just worked together great, and I really, really feel safe with you guys on our side, so.
Thank you, Joyce. Paul?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jason?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jeff? Nothing, Your Honor. Jeff?
Not a thing, thank you.
Posty?
Just a quick thanks to all of those involved in Fourth Avenue Fest. It was a great time. Lots of folks were out. If you enjoyed being out in the community, you're going to have a really great opportunity here in about a week and a half. Believe it or not, it's 4th of July weekend. Yeah. I know the Austin Entertainment Group, hopefully I got that correct, has been working hard. There's a great list of events in the shopper this week. So looking forward to a fun old-fashioned Austin 4th of July.
Thanks, Michael. Laura?
Speaking of Fourth Avenue Fest, that is an event that the Culture and Arts Commission puts on. This was our biggest year ever. A conservative estimate is 1,000 attendees. There were 823 people at the open swim alone. We had 9 local government partners and 17 nonprofit partners. Thank you to everyone who participated, who showed up, who did extra work, and a special shout out to Randy and the parks staff. That's a big night for them. I am happy to say that Randy said it was pretty clean by the time they got there at the end of the night, so. Probably worth mentioning, Mauer County is now doing recycling support for events. So they brought over bins and then they came and picked them up the next day. And it was like seamless government working together. It was great.
Awesome.
And I don't even think they sent us a bill. So, under Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, we heard at the meeting last week about a new proposal for a skills course for mountain biking at Schindler's Way. Schindler's Way has been a great example of private-public partnership. I think everybody's been very happy with how that's working, and being able to host bike races now and have more of our local kids learning about mountain biking is excellent. And then finally, the HRA put their new house that was built by Riverland students on the market. So if you're looking for a 5-bedroom house in 24th Avenue Northwest, it's on the market. It's, I think, a very good deal, a good value for your money. And if I'm not mistaken, you'll become a Ward 1 resident, so.
That comes with discounts, I'm guessing.
That's my pitch.
Thanks, Laura. I have nothing. Looking for a motion to adjourn to Monday, July 3rd.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. 5 minutes till we get to the work session, I guess.